All right, welcome to No Spark Garage. My name is Mike. Join me on this adventure fixing up old motorcycles, ATVs, things that have been abandoned in somebody else's yard or abandoned even in my own yard. I have a lot of projects that I just never got around to that I've left kind of sit to the wayside, and now I am going through and trying to fix them up. I was part of a different YouTube channel with somebody else. Had a falling out, no longer doing it together, so kind of going on my own here. And hopefully produce some good content for you guys, and y'all enjoy. Let's get on with the first project. Today in the shop, I'm working on the V-Stars. I've gone through and I have cleaned up the garage the best I could to try and get some work done, to get some projects done that have been kind of put to the wayside due to working a lot of overtime. But at least this way I can get these things done. Got the V-Star. Well, this V-Star on the lift. This one's still off to the side. I do wish I had two lifts so I could do them both at the same time. But I'm going to make it work with the one. I'm going to take everything off of here. I've made my nice fancy workbench here out of two old ladder racks that I had, clamped a piece of plywood on there. So it's not perfect, but it's sturdy enough. I have taken the Mustang seat off the V-Star, and I've taken the exhaust off the V-Star. I had it running to move it up onto the lift, so I removed it while it was hot, because anybody's ever had to fight with the bolts on an old rusty exhaust system knows that it's a pain in the butt. So, I'm going to go through, I'm going to start tearing it down, save you guys the boring parts, I guess, and just skip to a time lapse to where tearing everything apart from this bike. And then tearing this bike apart. So, enjoy the show. Camera died, so the only thing you missed on the time lapse was me pulling off the side cover here, because that looks about where it cut out. So I went from that side, I went from the right side to the left side, and that's where I was. I started going through and I started bagging up everything and labeling it. So like here, left side cover, put it in it, and I got everything labeled with it to try and keep everything organized. Let's see, I still have to remove the throttle cables, the fuel lines going to the carburetors from the fuel pump. I have to remove all this stuff back here. And then I have to, I'm not sure if I have to remove the rear wheel or not. If I do, I will, but if I don't, that'd be awesome. But I might. I'm going to try and leave the front end assembled for now, because I don't know if I'm going to try and swap the front end from this frame to that frame, because I don't know if I like the front end look of this compared to that. So like that front end suits that frame. This one in here, further inspection, it's a 99, which everything still matches up. You can see here that this is different than that one on that side. You really can't see it from over here, but let's see if we can zoom in. You can see how how your bar here mounts directly to it. You've got your 7-inch headlight. Whereas this one, your turn signals mount right to your handlebars here. So in order to do the swap, all I'd have to do is take off the top half of the triple tree, unbolt everything here, and slide everything out, which is not terrible. I can do that, but I want to worry about getting the motor out first. Once the motor's out, then I can worry about all of like the little things, cosmetics, and all that other fun stuff. So I'm gonna take a break for a little bit. I'm gonna go wash my hands, eat some lunch, and then come back and go from there. I didn't record and just jumped into it. Battery died on the other one, doing the time lapse, and I just kind of pushed that one out and put this one in. You can see it was already kind of in pieces, so the tank came right off. Rear fender just came right off. So a couple little notices. I did point out the front forks, how different they are. I am going to have to change them if I want to use that other fender. So you can see where this one bolts across from each other. The other one bolts here, and then the other one's like up over here. So if I want to use that fender, I have to change out the front forks. And then the other thing I ran into here is this one here only has 2, whereas this one has 3. So on the custom, the seat mounts to the first one, fender bolt, there's a fender stud here. See if I can turn the light on here. There we go. So this is where the seat bolts here. Got this one for support, and then this is where the stud is for that rear fender. So I'm looking at, I think, because this frame's going to be junk anyway, I'm not doing anything with it. I'm just going to scrap it. So I'm probably going to cut this rear section off and cut these pieces. I'll take these pieces off and then put them on the other one. I feel like in order to use these fairings like I wanted to, it's going to be the best. I wish that Yamaha had made these bolt-on instead of welded. Yeah, and then I think this, it's not cast, it's steel, but I do wish that these were just bolt-on. I know my Vulcan, the VN 800, this whole rear section is bolt-on and off. I do wish they had done that with this. Measured, these bolt holes line up. The only difference is it's because this has a steel fender. It only needed 2 supports, where the other one has a plastic fender, so it needed the 3 supports. And basically, this one comes up a little bit more, probably around about here. This one goes forward to about here, and then there's just a third. So I might just cut these off, move them forward, re-weld them, or cut the other ones off and just cut those off and start fresh. Yeah, I don't know how much further I'm going to get tonight. I'm a little beat. I've only had like a 30-minute nap, and it's nighttime again. I hope these videos are helpful to anybody out there that's looking to do this kind of stuff. I mean, it's probably not a common thing where people turn a classic into a custom or a custom into a classic, but hopefully, if there is somebody out there that's looking to do it, they can have a better idea of what it takes or what it's going to take to do it and see if they want to tackle it. This for me is a whole learning experience to try and figure out what needs to be done to switch them over. I could have done a little more research, but really, or I could have just took the simple way out and just changed the engine and left everything the same and slapped the different colored tank on it. But I wanted everything else is beautiful altogether. All right, well, I'm going to call it a night. We'll pick up again. I don't know about tomorrow, but another day. And we'll go from there. Hopefully we get this thing up and running before springtime's over. When I left off, I still had the classic sub rear tail on here. Now we've got the custom on here. Went through, they're actually little tabs that stick up to line everything up. So when I cut it off of this frame, because this frame doesn't matter, I cut it right on down. And then basically kept grinding down until I could see where these channels opened up. And then I could actually see it. But yeah, there's 2 tabs that stick up. Lines everything up. I just ground it down to where the welds were. See, we got it on here. I've got it tacked. And one here. Front and back on both sides to kind of look at it. We're got little hands in the background there. I know it's just sitting on the thing, but she looks good. It's not tweaked. It's not twisted. None of that. So I'm going to, unfortunately, I have to stop. I got to go do some things, but I'm going to go through. I'm going to weld this all up all the way around. and we'll go from there. Got the tail section welded on. We're gonna make those look pretty with the grinder and some paint, and then you'll never know. I was hoping to get the engine up in place, but because now it's so late, I don't have anybody else here to help me. I might move the engine from where it is over there, over there on the bench. Should be able to bring it over and kind of place it in here. My only problem is being able to lift it and slide it back and line everything up at the same time. I was hoping to get like a scissor lift kind of thing, but unfortunately I have not had a chance to buy one. I haven't had a chance to order it really, and even if I order it now, it's still going to take a couple days to get here, and I don't want to be sitting waiting for stuff. I'd rather just get it done. So I'm going to probably manhandle it. I'll probably wait to put the rear wheel on, or no, strike that. I'm going to put the rear wheel on and then bring it over to try and lift it up in place. I was thinking about using our trusty beam up there, the one we hang everything from, and doing my chain hoist that I have, and seeing if I could use that to get it up in the air and kind of move it in place. But it's coming along. We're getting there. I'm going to get this rear wheel on and then let you know where I'm going from there. As you just watched me fight to get the engine in, it actually wasn't terrible, but it wasn't easy. Definitely would have been way better if I had another set of hands. I did have to remove the rear axle, or the rear tire again, because this joint comes to the back of this housing here. Let's see if I can get that in here. Comes right to the back of that housing where the axle goes in. So I had to move everything back to get everything over, slid in place. You can see that I tightened everything up. All the motor mounts are tightened. You see I started hooking up wiring, started reconnecting everything on that side of the bike. I did remove the exhaust gasket. I just put the tail end on there. The only thing that I want to look at is deleting all of this. I don't like how big and bulky all this looks. If I can, yeah, I don't know if I can like move this up and do like a cut across. I don't know how that would look. And shrink down these tail lights, or the marker lights, bring everything in closer. I know I've seen like the Harley ones where they just kind of mount right up in here. That's just the one. That wouldn't be bad. I'd be okay with that. And then, you know, doing something else for the tail lights. I'm going to look into it a little more. I like the way the rear fender swoops. That part I do like. But I wish that this wasn't as big as bulky. I'm probably going to get rid of this guy here because half the lights don't work. And there's no point in keeping it to me anyway. So I'm going to look into that. And I'm going to keep, well, maybe not tonight. It's 11 o'clock at night right now. So I'm going to stop. I know I said I was done for the night, but I kept going a little bit. I got the whole airbox system in. That's all in. Everything, the foot peg on this side is on. I took the front pads off of that one. I checked the front pads on this one. These are actually okay. So I still have to bleed the front brakes. I'm going to run those. Did notice that there's a difference between the Classic. There are 2 bolts that hold that caliper on. whereas this one has a bolt and a pivot point. See there? Yeah, right there. That's your pivot point. So little differences here and there. I'm sure I could take the bracket from one to the other, but I don't have to do that. This side over here, got this foot peg on as well. Got everything hooked up over here. All my cables are on. I do have to get the hose to bypass the AIS system here. And it's just a little odds and ends. I'm hoping that tomorrow I can settle down and really get everything done. And then this way I can ride it. But I'm done for the night. And we're going to bed. Well, shower first and then bed. So, see you guys tomorrow. Don't mind that. All right, so as you guys can see, it is all back together. She runs good. I just took her on a little 7-mile, yeah, well, only works with the keys on, right? 7.2 mile trip. All in all, she rode great. Definitely got to change out that front tire. No wobbles or anything, but you can feel that it's undersized. At least I can. So I'm going to order that. I'm going to leave it as is for now. But I'm going to order that, get it changed out. The only other thing I want to do is get new bars. So I have to move these so far forward just to make myself comfortable. Let's see. Anything else I can think of? Other than Noodles was right. I do like the sound of the Cobra exhaust better than the stock exhaust with the baffles pulled out. It was definitely a fun little ride down the road. Definitely had fun doing this. So I realized I never did an outro video for the V-Star. I got it all back together, took it on that ride, the original ride. I have put quite a few more miles on it since then. I did end up getting the forward controls on it. And I also did the license plate rear chop here to bring everything up. And I'll flip the camera around so I can show you guys. All right, so here you can see where I've cut it. There's actually a little like shelf here kind of thing. And I just followed that all the way across. There was a reflector up here where I moved the license plate bracket up to. I did end up, you can't really see, but I did end up cutting a V and re-welding it to make it sit back further, so it kind of goes a little bit more back. I do like this look better than what it originally looked like, so I'm happy with that. And the light and everything shines on there perfectly, so I don't have to worry about that. And then with the forward controls, being 6'3", it makes it a lot more comfortable for myself. So all in all, the only thing I have left to do I want to do on the bike is the handlebars. I have read that you can go up to a 10-inch rise without changing all of the cables and everything. So get a pair of 10-inch bars for around 60, 70 bucks, which I might do eventually. Right now, it's not high on the priority list. If I do decide to go higher than 10-inch, then I have to replace the throttle cable, all the cables, everything, the brake line, all that fun stuff. So that's another day's project. But for now, this year, I'm going to leave it as is and ride it from there. So thanks for watching. Hang in there with me as I progress and do a little better on my video editing skills. And thanks for watching.